What's up, ding dongs?
Hello, hello.
I am Kelly, sanctimonious blue collar bullshit keen.
I am Jazzy, Donna and Henry, sex truther Dotson. I'm
love it.
convinced. You
I love
can't
it.
convince me otherwise.
Oh my god,
It
so
happened.
funny. Let me tell
This
you,
is my canon.
since we got the screeners for this episode, I've
Mm-hmm.
been waiting eagerly to use sanctimonious blue collar bullshit. I
It's
was
an
like waiting. I'm
excellent.
like, I want to use it now.
What a perfect drag of Jim.
Yes.
Yeah. Glorious.
So welcome Erica and LP Punk. Glad to see you both here.
Hey, y'all.
Invite your friends, because if we get enough people in here, we'll give away a cat shirt.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, so for those of you listening later, this is a live recap, so it might sound a little bit different than our typical recaps. And we'll take comments and all that fun stuff, and then if anybody wants to call in at the end, we can do that. But in case anybody does not know, we have some exciting stuff going on right now.
Yes, we do.
We are giving away a cameo from David Alpay in 2 weeks at the this episode 10 after party. So join us for that, and we will go live immediately following the episode on Sunday night. Not tonight. Tonight we're kind of experimenting with, what's a good time for people. But for episode 10, we will definitely be doing our after party right after episode 10 on Sunday night. And all you have to do to win is be present at that after party and be active in the chat. And you get an extra entry for every one of our videos that you comment on, and for every one of our after parties that you attend and participate in the chat. So really exciting, and David Alpay gives great cameos. So
Yeah.
good stuff.
Who doesn't want a pep talk from Jade?
I know. And you can request that too. You can request different types of cameos. You can get like just a regular one, or you can get a like a happy birthday thing, or a congrats, or a pep talk, or a roast. And you can get those you can ask for one from David Alpay or from Jade, or from David Alpay as Jade. And he has done them as Jade before. Which I want a roast from Jade so badly. And
Absolutely.
I want a pep talk and a roast from Jade. I want a pep talk from David Alpay. I don't want a roast from David Alpay. I want a pep talk from David Alpay, and I want a pep talk and a roast from Jade, because that would be
I
amazing.
just want him to call me Teacup. Just one time.
Yeah. I don't know.
My little day.
I don't know. He can call me whatever he wants to.
Oh my god. Sorry. Hold on.
What is going on over there?
The inside of my dinosaur cup is green. And so it's picking up my green screen inside my cup. There's Christy.
It looks like you had some kind of bubbling cauldron over there.
Yes. Oh my god, that's so cool. Sorry, I'm gonna play. Let me put Jade away.
No, I like Sparkplug too. And he never again called her Sparkplug. Like he said I'm gonna call you Sparkplug from now on, and he never again called her Sparkplug. He lied. He lied to Julie, and he lied to Julie, and he lied to all of us. Damn you, Jade. That's okay. He will call her Sparkplug when he takes back his room next season, because he's trying to sober up and he kicks Jim out.
Yes. I support that.
Stepdaddy Jade. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this was a phenomenal episode.
I think this might be my favorite episode of the season.
Really?
Yeah, and you know why. You know why. Everyone knows why.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
that little Henry speech, and someone
Yeah.
telling Jim the words he needs to hear.
Yeah. I definitely saw some foreshadowing though. I mean, there's I mean, I think it's obvious at this point that Jade is going to be moving back into the house next season.
Mhm.
But I it seems like there was some foreshadowing that maybe Henry will take his place. Like,
Yeah, at the bar.
yeah, like
Yeah, I
maybe
could see
Henry will,
that.
yeah. Yeah, because like you saw Jade like pick up that bottle and then he put it down, you know?
Mhm.
And
Yeah, he never took a drink in that scene.
yeah. This is the first episode. He like he has been drinking constantly.
Yeah.
And you know, and we had the scene with Tom where he was like, you know, sober up and give
Get
that
your
guy a
mind
call.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't like that's the first. By the way, did you notice last week that he had an umbrella in his drink?
No.
That
Are
cracks me
you
up.
serious?
Yes.
Oh,
I
where
ca
did they get the umbrellas?
I know, I forgot to mention it, and I'm so mad that I forgot to mention it because it was hilarious.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, let's get into it.
Let's do this thing.
So this was episode 308. We only have 2 more episodes left, and that sucks.
I can't believe it.
I don't want to be without From. I'm really upset about
We've
it.
been on such a journey.
I know. But the episode's called Thresholds. Accusations start flying and truths come to light in the aftermath of a tragedy. Victor struggles to recover long buried memories about the town's past. Julie and Ethan search for answers about the mysterious ruins in the woods. And it's funny because like Jazzy and I talk pretty much every day, and I don't even think I've told you that that we got an exclusive. Um we got an exclusive sneak peek clip, and
No.
it was
No.
yeah, it was the Jim and Jade scene. Um and I
Mhm.
posted it to her Twitter and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Jim's got to go." um but so the episode opens up with Boyd and Fatima running to the talisman hut at the edge of the road. Um and he asks Fatima to explain what happened. And like, is this a smart idea?
Why? Why he takes everyone to the Talisman Hut? He like that is not a secret place anymore. Everyone knows about it.
I know. I
Christy knows
know.
about it. Jade knows about it. Kenny knows. Everyone knows about the Talisman Hut. Like the second, if anyone had ever realized it was Fatima, that's the first place they'd go check.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Pissed.
um, but yeah, he asked Fatima to explain what happened, and she says that as soon as she decided not to eat the rotting food, my notes keep moving around here. As
Oh,
soon
that's
as she
weird.
decided to not eat the rotting food, she just like this pain and rage just took over. And Tilly tried to help, but she just kind of lost control of her body there, and like whatever was inside her was controlling her, and she stabbed her with the shears. Um and she said it was basically like an out of body experience. And she like it was like whatever was in her took control while she watched. And Boyd, you know, Boyd's just kind of listening and taking this in, and he hangs a talisman on the door and tells her that he and Ellis will be back for her in the morning once they have a chance to sort it out. That's gotta suck, man, staying in that little
Yeah.
tiny hut like all night.
It's not even like finished. There's like holes in it, and I'm just
Yeah.
gonna answer LP Punk's question really quickly. He took Sarah to the hut
Yeah.
He's put it on the map for Jade when Jade was planning to go out. He's told Kenny and Jim about it when Kenny and Jim were going to go out searching for Tabitha. It's the HUD is not a secret. People know
Yeah.
what this is.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so he leaves her alone, and he tells her they'll figure out a way forward tomorrow, and but she starts crying that there is no way forward, but he tells her that she's family and he'll help her, and he asks her about Fatima, I'm sorry, asks Boyd about Tilly's body, and he says that they have to let somebody else find her, and Fatima just starts sobbing. And he tells her he just needs her to be strong right now.
Poor
And
Fatima.
I know. I feel terrible for her.
What an awful situation.
Yeah. And that's the opening. Then we go to the opening credits, and then when we come back, Ethan, Jim, Jade, and Tabitha are heading back into town from the settlement, and all I kept thinking during the scene is, man, Jim and Jade must have been going out of their minds having to spend the night together.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that. I'm sure it was just silence. But
Like facing butt to butt, not looking at each other. I can see that.
yeah. But they're heading back into town, and or maybe Jim got so pissed off because Jade kicked him out. Jade kicked him out and spent the night with Tabitha.
He had to
Oh
sleep in the redshirt cabin.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I hope so.
But yeah, Jade heads to the bar and tells them he'll catch up with them later. And as they head into the home that they just colonized from Kenny's family, um, a very upset looking Ethan runs immediately upstairs as Tabitha calls after him. Why is he so upset? Like,
I don't remember.
I think something might have been cut out.
Yeah, because the last time we saw them, it was just Tabitha remembering her. She was like, I was here, it was real, and that was it. Like, I don't remember anything happening with Ethan, why he would be reacting like that.
He overheard them talking. He overheard Tabitha and Jim talking,
Mm-hmm.
and he was trying to tell her that, like, the place is just messing with her and everything. And but I don't know why that would upset Ethan. Like, it's not even like a nasty disagreement that they're having.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know.
that's why it makes me feel like something might have been cut out there.
That makes sense. I was wondering that too.
Yeah. But yeah, so Tabitha can't stop him, but she goes into the kitchen, like, just not looking very happy. Yeah, something must have been cut out because she really, like, Tabitha looked really upset with him. Ethan was upset.
Yeah.
Something had to have been cut out.
Yeah.
I'm certain of it.
There has to be some kind of argument.
Yeah.
Probably with him and Jade that got left on. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
Jade splits immediately. Tabitha's pissed. Ethan's upset. Yeah, something happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. And so back at the bar, Jade goes to pour himself a drink, but he puts it down, like, right away. And he then hears the sound from the bedroom, and he grabs the bottle and starts, like, moving toward the door, and it opens to reveal a disheveled looking Henry who clearly has spent the night there.
Yes. And when we had last left Henry, he was with Donna getting wasted. And then he comes out of the back bedroom all, oh, excuse me, good sir. Oh, harumph, pardon me. They banged. They banged.
Oh my
I
god.
clap cheeks. I I believe it. Donna needed to relieve that stress.
All right. You're a okay. Well, if you're gonna cling to that belief, then I'm gonna cling to the belief that all the tension is because Jade kicked Jim out of into
Yes.
the redshirt hut, and he and Tabitha got it on.
I like both theories. I feel like mine has more evidence, but I do like them both.
Yeah.
Where did Donna go?
Yeah, I don't know. But Jade, yeah, I mean, he just spent the whole night there. Like, they must have been drinking pretty late.
LP Punk sees it. She knows. That's what's up.
Yeah. Um, Jade asks Henry who the fuck he is, and he quickly explains that he's Victor's dad. Um, Henry admires his crazy person boards and then pours himself a morning moonshine. Back at Colony House, Elgin and Marielle see somebody discovering Tilly's body. The Polaroid then flashes, and Elgin grabs the photo. We again don't see it right away. At the clinic, Julie knocks on the door to Randall's room and asks him to thank Marielle and Christy for letting her spend the night if he sees them. And he's like, I don't get a thank you. That cracked me up. um, and she rolls her eyes and smiles at him and tells him thank you as well. Like, he's actually, Randall has been so snarky
Yeah.
since he showed up in town, but now he's like more of a fun snarky.
I really like that we're getting the softer side of Randall. He's endearing. Can I even like?
I know, it sounds weird
to say.
I know. Yeah, like his snark before was malicious, but now it's just kind of like, now it's kind of just, it's more fun spirited, you know?
Cute.
Yeah.
He and Julie have a nice rapport.
Yeah.
Older brother, little sister type of rapport.
Yes.
Folks.
Yes. Yes. There's nothing else going on there.
No, sir.
Like, Julie's allowed to crush on him if she wants, because
yes,
she's a teenage girl, but that's it.
No.
He's a good older brother figure.
Yes.
But
I actually think Randall might be Thomas.
I think Randall is I think Randall is Ginger the cow.
Ooh.
Yep. She died and she inhabited his body. That's why he's being nicer now.
Oh my gosh. That totally makes sense, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And he's feeling really, really bad now because he's being inhabited by Ginger. He's feeling really bad now about trying to kill Alma for food. Because, you know, that's really
all the pieces are coming together.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But he so anyway, she rolls her eyes and tells him thank you, and she asks if he'll go back to the ruins with her, and he tells her that she just needs to stay the fuck away from that place, and there's absolutely nothing in that town that wants to help them. And Julie leaves frustrated. She just doesn't agree.
I kind of agree with Randall.
Yeah. Same. But at Colony House, Ellis and Boyd are rehearsing their story. Ellis wants to tell the truth, but Boyd doesn't think it's a good idea. And Ellis is afraid that people will want to put her in the box. It's like you want to tell the truth, but you're afraid that Fatima will end up in the box. Do you want your wife going in the box?
Right?
Like, what the hell, man?
It felt like Ellis was arguing just to argue. It was
Yeah.
strange.
He's freaking out. Like, he's scared. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, very fair.
But yeah, Boyd insists that won't happen. And he tells Ellis to go up to their room and pack some things for Fatima. And someone comes by to grab Boyd to inspect Tilly's body. Acosta and Kenny show up at the scene, and Acosta says she's going to interview everyone in Colony House. Boyd says he and Ellis will walk the road, saying that this could have been done by new arrivals that they aren't aware of yet. Boyd says that he knows Kenny isn't his deputy anymore, but Kenny just like doesn't even acts like he doesn't even really hear him. And he just agrees to help. So he heads toward Colony House with Acosta, who pauses to ask if she and Boyd are good. And he just says, let's find who did this. They split up. No, you're not good. you just gotta get shit done, okay? By the way, so I guess Samantha Brown, is that the actress's name?
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess she did an interview recently where somebody asked what her first name was.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and she said she couldn't say because it was a spoiler. So,
do you have a guess? I have a yes.
What's your guess?
I think it's Abby.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be a spoiler? What do you think?
I think that her name that she can't. She said she couldn't say what her first name was because there's a reason that they're keeping it secret, and I think that her first name is going to be Abby because Boyd's already freaking out about Brian and Kelly showing up, and I think like this character is already so like hard-headed and in his face and challenging his authority already that if her name is his past wife's name, it's gonna completely throw him off. He's gonna
it's gonna fuck him up.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
that's a good theory. I bet you're right. I bet you're right. That makes a lot of sense. But where was I? So Donna comes out with a blanket to cover up Tilly's body and says that they need to talk to Sarah. And Boyd tells her it wasn't her. And Donna says he doesn't know that. And she's not the only one who's going to be asking about her. And, she mentions that hiding from the monsters every night is one thing, but Tilly's murder is something that people are going to need to blame somebody for. And if they can't figure out who did it, then people are going to blame Sarah, whether she did it or not. And
she's not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Boyd agrees and asks Donna to meet him at the station later to talk to Sarah together. At the Kavanaugh house, Sarah is attempting to voice Jasper for Victor. This cracked me up. She's like, "Hi, Victor. Do you want to play? I can tell you a
secret." Yeah. Victor's
yeah, and Victor is just pissed AF that she's not doing it right. And like Sarah's obviously upset that he's yelling at her and tells him she's doing the best that she can, and he's just freaking the fuck out. He's like screaming that she's not good enough, but then like he turns it on himself and he's like slapping himself in the face and saying you're not good enough to himself. And Sarah wrestles wrestles his arms down to try to stop him. I don't think this guy has slept in a few days.
It doesn't seem that way.
No.
It seems like he's going through it hard.
Yeah, he's losing his. He puts a lot of pressure on himself.
Yeah.
At the Matthews house, Tabitha's in the kitchen getting dinner ready when Jim walks in to say something stupid, and he smugly tells her that he knows she's thinking that she needs to save the children, and the town has convinced her that she has to fix this, but it's something that will never happen. And he asks if she knows why the phone is off the wall. And he tells her about Unthomas calling. And he says that there's something in this town that knows things about us and it knows what buttons to push. And just then there's a knock on the door and they rush to answer it. And it's Sarah. She tells him that Victor is in her basement and in really bad shape. And she says that Victor will only speak with Tabitha. And Jim isn't happy about it, but Tabitha goes to grab her coat and leaves to go over there. Back at the clinic, Elgin calls out to see if anyone's there, but doesn't get an answer. He starts searching through a drawer, but is startled when Randall walks up and says, "If you're looking for drugs, you're looking in the wrong spot." And Elgin looks terrified. He looks legit terrified of Randall.
Yeah, he does.
And he said he's just looking for a Band-Aid. And Randall's like, "You better not let Christy and Marielle catch you rooting through their shit." And he asks Elgin if he had heard about Tilly, and Elgin said, yeah. And Randall actually apologizes for his attitude when they got to town. And, he told Elgin he was right. They should have turned around. And Elgin apologizes for puking on him. And they just kind of, share a smile. And then Randall leaves. And Elgin pulls a blood set out of the supply cabinet. And LP Punk commented, Randall back to being a dick to Elgin in the episode, barely acknowledging Elgin's apology. I think it's just Randall.
Yeah,
he's just, I don't think he was being a dick. He just there was a smile and a nod. He's just not very warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. That's as kind as he's gonna get to another dude, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Back in Sarah's basement, Victor is super relieved to see Tabitha, and Sarah kind of watches on as Victor passes Jasper to Tabitha, and he insists to her that since she was there when he remembered Eloise, which, by the way, I've gone back and watched this series so many times now. I still get goosebumps every fucking time during that scene.
That scene is incredible.
I get chills and goosebumps and just I have a visceral reaction to it every single time I see it.
Absolutely.
But I wish that I'd been watching it live at the time,
Oh yeah.
To see everybody react to it, because that would have been kind of amazing. But yeah, so Tabitha asks what he needs Jasper to tell them, and Victor says that the secrets, he needs him to tell him the secrets that he told Christopher, because they can help us. And Tabitha says, Victor, he's just a doll. And he starts panicking and saying, she has to be the one. And he's just screaming and repeating and kicking things. He's like, you have to be the one. You have to be the one. And starts punching the wall and hitting his face. He's just fucking losing his shit.
Yeah.
And Tabitha jumps up. What's that?
Let's see. It's just awful how physical he gets with himself when he gets upset.
Yeah.
It's really upsetting.
Yeah, it
Poor
really
little
is.
guy.
I know. Well, I mean, if you think about it, like, he was alone for so many years.
Yeah.
And so he he only had himself to rely on. Like,
Yeah.
so that's never gonna change. He's always gonna feel like he has to do everything, you know? Like, he's
Yeah.
responsible for everything.
Poor little Victor.
I know. I know. And poor little Victor, indeed. Poor little Victor, who does not deserve daily thirst threads on
Yes.
Facebook. Thirst over Scott McCord if you want, okay? Do not thirst.
Please.
Do not thirst over sweet
Please.
little innocent 10-year-old boy Victor, because that's what he is. He's a 10-year-old boy, okay?
He doesn't understand.
I know. But it's funny because they'll always post a picture of Scott McCord. But the comments are all Victor.
That Victor can get it.
No.
No, sir.
Oh, God. And it just, like, if you guys haven't seen, well, I mean, nobody's seen it because it was just unless you were at the film festival, but I forgot what film festival it was at, but he just had he starred in a short film that just premiered at one of the well-known film festivals, and Screamfest.
Oh, neat.
And it was called I don't know if it's pronounced Claudia or Claude AI. I don't know, but it's he yeah, it really, if you like, I hope that this becomes available to watch in the near future somewhere because it looks really interesting, but it's definitely going to ruin people's image of sweet little Victor because he's basically an internet predator.
No. It's like when Stanley Tucci was in The Lovely Bones.
Yeah, he's like this he's like this creepy perverted internet predator who's like spying on women.
Don't like that.
Yeah. And telling them to take their clothes off.
No, thank you.
But so anyway, he's hitting the wall and hitting himself, and Tabitha jumps up and forces him to stop. And she makes him look at her, and she calms him down and asks if he wants to draw a picture. And he said that the pictures don't work like that. The pictures were so that he didn't forget, but he never drew a picture of this, so there's no way that he can remember. And it's just gone. And Tabitha encourages him to sit and tells him over and over that he's okay, that nothing is gone. And she asks him to tell her about the doll. And he said his name is Jasper. And one time he heard him telling secrets to Christopher, but he can't remember. And he starts getting frustrated again, but she says they'll remember together just like last time. Julie comes home to find her dad there. She asks how things are at the settlement, and he says not great. And he tells her Ethan is upstairs and asks if she can keep an eye on him. And she asks where he's going, and he says he has something to take care of.
He has to go tell another member of the town to leave his family alone.
Yeah.
As usual. It's the only place Jim ever goes.
Yeah. Well, he also leaves his family alone.
Yeah. Don't parent your traumatized child or daughter. Just go yell at some random stranger to leave your kids alone.
Yep. And Julie looks justifiably annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
And heads upstairs to look after Ethan, who is sitting on the floor looking depressed. Julie asks if he's okay, and he says he's fine. And she asks if he wants to see something really cool. And Ethan gets excited, and I'm just thinking, no, Julie. No.
Also, That's not that cool.
It's not. Yeah.
It's a pile of rocks.
Yeah. Back at the bar, Henry tells Jade that his wife had visions of the place, and he wished he would have listened to her. And Jade does his best, Samantha from Sex and the City, and says, "Coulda, woulda, shoulda." Henry asks Jade why he thinks he's so smart, because probably a lot of smart people have tried to figure this out, and Jade just says he's smarter. Which, the thing I like about Jade is that he was very arrogant in the beginning, but him saying this, I don't think that's arrogance anymore. It's just him saying, like, I know I'm brilliant, and I have to use my intelligence. I have a responsibility to use my intelligence to
Get
figure
us
shit
out of
out.
this. Yeah.
But Jim, being enormously predictable, storms into the bar, and I love Jade's reaction. He's like, "Oh, sure, by all means, come right in." And Jim tells Jade it's done, and Jade's like, what are you talking about, bro?" And Jim's like, "What the fuck were you thinking, dragging my wife and my child out into the woods?" And he just like gets right up in Jade's face and puts his hands on his shoulders, which just immediately made me cringe.
Yeah,
Like,
not cool.
I know. He puts his hands on his shoulders and gets in his face and says in the fashion of a Gilead husband that Tabitha is not in a good way right now, and Jade shouldn't be filling her head with ideas that she's some kind of chosen savior. Jade's like shoves him aside. He's like, "Get your fucking hands off of me." And he's like, "First of all, filling her head with ideas? What is she, 9?"
Exactly.
Good job,
Exactly.
Jade.
Tell it like it is, Jade.
Yeah. He's yeah, he knows a misogynist when he sees one. And he tells Jim that Tabitha came there and she recognized the drawings and wanted to go. And Jim calls Jade a lonely, selfish, narcissistic asshole who doesn't care about anybody but himself and his own ego.
Which makes zero fucking sense, because he went down into the fucking monster hole last season to try to save Julie, who's not his kid. Like,
yeah,
that was completely selfless.
He did not want to go down there. He was fucking terrified.
Exactly.
But he went anyway. He psyched himself up to go down there.
Selfish.
And he says, if you want to kill yourself trying to figure out the town, be my guest. But I have a family to look out for. You know, the family that he left behind to come deliver this asshole speech to Jade. Like, instead of talking to his traumatized children. And Jade's like, yeah, let's talk about your family. Because out of the two of us, I'm the only one who's trying to get everybody home. And I just, oh my God, this speech makes me so mad. And he tells Jim, like, he's getting, and I forgot to mention, he tells Jim he's getting a little tired of this blue collar sanctimonious bullshit, which is such a great line.
Absolutely.
And he's like, where was I? He points at his crazy person papers and says, like, this is helping people. And Jim just starts yelling, and he's like, no, all this does is prove that you are the smartest prick in the room. And Jade says, who cares? As well, if it gets everybody home, then who gives a shit? And he's
Exactly.
so fucking right. I have never related stronger to Jade than I did in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Absolutely.
my God. Oh my God. I cannot tell you how many conversations I've had with people that went exactly like this.
Like, why does it
Oh,
matter as long as he's right?
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jim is so fucking insecure. It's ridiculous. Um,
Amen.
he's insecure and he's jealous,
Yes.
and he needs to shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
But Jade, Jade says, if you want to keep your kids under lock and key, that's your business. But Tabitha is a grown woman, and if he has a problem with her, he should try talking to her. And Jim has just lost the battle of wits that he was never prepared to win, and slams the bar door in Jim's face. And from the bar stool, Henry sarcastically says, "Well, that was productive." Like, I cannot tell you how much Jim pissed me off so much in this scene.
This is one of
Like,
his worst scenes in the season, and he's had a lot of stinkers.
oh my God. I think this is my next to this is probably like my third least favorite Jim moment. The first being when he
Yeah.
roughed up Victor, the second being when
Mm-hmm.
he talked shit about Victor, and then this is probably right after that. Like, he's this whole bullshit about, I have a family. Like, you're a lonely, narcissistic asshole. Like,
Yeah.
and I have a family. Oh, cool. You have a family. So you're better than me. Awesome.
Right. I was
Oh,
thought it was pretty nasty when he was like, Tabitha, you need to be here to parent your kids. Like,
I
so
know.
do you.
I know. Mr. Red Flag.
Yes. Big
Um
one.
yeah, Jim, we we defended you a lot in the past 2 seasons. We didn't like you very much, but we defended you as being at least a really good husband and father. And
Check
yeah,
it out the door, bro.
you just suck now. You gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta go.
You're about to get frummed.
Yep. At the Talisman Hut, Ellis shows up to check on Fatima, and they hug, and he tells her it's okay. She tells him to please stop saying that, reminding him that she killed someone. And Ellis says that they're in this together no matter what, even if they have to take the talisman and live in the woods like Daryl Dixon. They can all move in together,
Perfect.
um, Fatima is afraid that she'll hurt Ellis too, but he insists she won't, which is just ridiculous. He doesn't know that. Um, and he leaves her the clothes that he brought her and her lucky handkerchief, which she presses into her hand. And he tells her he loves her and that he'll be back. Um, she sits there with the handkerchief, holding it to her nose, and breathes in and sinks to the floor. And then Elgin's girlfriend, kimono lady, appears before her, and she looks up and screams and
Help
says,
me get
"Oh."
made over for my date with Elgin.
I have a date with Elgin later. You have to help me do my hair.
We have to have a makeover montage, please.
Yes.
Oh my god. All right. In the bathroom of Colony House, the Polaroid is revealed to be a blood bag similar to what would be gathered at a blood drive. Elgin ties a tourniquet around his arm with his belt and hesitantly and with shaking hands inserts the IV. He begins to drain his blood into a filthy ass jar. Absolutely disgusting. What a terrible plan.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Not
The
good.
Polaroid flashes yet again, and another photo that we don't get to see pops out. Over at the bar, Henry asks Jim if he minds some unsolicited advice, and Jim says sure. And Henry says my favorite words of the entire series and tells Jim, hey, when your wife's talking, how about you occasionally shut the fuck up and listen to her?
Yep. Thank you, Henry. Good job.
I love you, Henry.
Yes.
Henry, yeah. Jim, being incapable of accepting even the smallest amount of criticism, is immediately taken aback and aggressively says, excuse me?
Okay. Listen, Mr. Jim Matthews. Mr. Over defensive Jim Matthews, who gets all the red flags this season. Here's what you can do.
How many red flags do you have?
I have 6, and I'll add one more and make it 7.
Amen.
For the 7 Ankui children.
Oh my God.
Mr. James Matthews. Jimothy. Jimberly. Fuck all the way off. Go fuck off over to Fuck Off Mountain and keep walking up Fuck Off Mountain until you can't fuck off anymore. Okay?
Tell it like it is, sis.
I'm so over his little overly defensive excuse me's.
Yes. I'm tired of him trying to get in everybody's face. This is the high school locker room, bro. Why are you trying to fight everybody?
God, he's the worst.
Henry, being a mensch, tells Jim that he reminds him of himself 40 years ago. He was certain that he could fix Miranda, but she was never broken. He tells Jim, Jim's always attempting to tightly control his family, and it may seem like it's for them, but it's really because he's scared and it's for him. He says he's probably the only person in town who can tell him that and know for sure that it's true. Jim crosses the bar and sits next to Henry, and Henry offers him a drink, but Jim says no, his father was an alcoholic. Henry says that his father was also an alcoholic, but he's still drinking. Jim tells the story of the day that Julie was born. He says that after Tabitha had fallen asleep, he walked across the street to the bar and ordered the tallest glass of whiskey he could order, and then sat and stared at it for several hours, then making the decision to be a better husband and father to his children, which is funny that the first thing he did as a parent to Julie was walk away.
Yeah.
Go sit somewhere else.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the hell?
Henry leans over the bar and pours Jim a large glass. Jim asks what he's doing, and Henry says he's giving him the chance to renew his vows. He tells Jim to sit as long as he'd like. He'd love the company. Henry is super, super relaxed. This guy is obviously just banged. Just banged. Over in the woods, Julie and Ethan come to the ruins. Ethan asks what this place is, and she tells him she doesn't know. She makes him promise not to tell their parents what she's about to tell him. She describes hearing the screaming and how it won't stop. And when she saw this place with Randall yesterday, it's the first time things have gone quiet. She tells Ethan she feels like something wants her to go in, but she's scared. She asks him what she should do. Ethan is surprised. Julie says this all reminds her of one of Ethan's stories. So if she were one of those characters, what should she do? Ethan tells her that she's at a threshold and that it may be scary, but they're going to have to be brave. He offers to come with her. Smiling, she takes his hand and they step together into the ruins. As they walk forward, Julie's hand is suddenly empty and she's alone in the dungeon where she was once held with Marielle and Randall. She walks forward, clearly terrified, when suddenly she sees the three of them chained to the wall. She can hear their screaming. She falls to her knees and covers her ears, trying to block out the sound. Back in the ruins, Julie has fallen to the ground and is seizing violently while Ethan tries to shake her awake, but with no effect. He
Should have listened
screams
to
for help.
Randall.
Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. That's the name of this episode.
By the
Back
way,
in-
can I just
Mhm.
interject something really quick that's totally off topic?
Absolutely.
I'm drinking a Sour Patch Kids Blue Raspberry Ghost because I'm not
Yum.
used to recording at this time.
Yes.
And I learned this week that my husband, whose name is also Jim, has never had Sour Patch Kids.
Ever?
Never.
That's bizarre.
They're like my favorite candy.
You gotta get on that. How has he never had them?
Don't know.
They're not even in my top 20, and I still will eat some Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, I fucking love that shit.
They're so good.
Anything sour. Anyway, sorry about that.
No worries.
I was just thinking about how delicious this is, and
all the wasted years that Jim has had. Back in Sarah's basement, Tabitha asks Victor if he remembers where he was the first time he heard Jasper talk. Victor says it was dark. It was a basement. Tabitha asks if he knows which basement, and Victor starts to panic again. Tabitha tries a few more questions, but nothing is breaking through Victor's memory as he starts to continually slap himself in the face. Finally, from across the room, Sarah asks, "Was it a nice day?" This stops Victor, and he asks her, "What?" She asks him again what the weather was like the day he heard Jasper talk. Victor remembers that it was sunny, and he and Eloise were playing hide and seek. He remembers searching everywhere and not being able to find her, so he finally checked the church because she had never hidden there before because she was afraid of it. He suddenly realizes this is it. He saw Jasper talking to Christopher in the church.
By the way, I'm kind of proud of ourselves for recognizing upon the first watch that they were in the church basement. Because a lot of people did not get that, apparently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
They haven't been in that set very often, but it's a very recognizable set.
See, I think with how dark it is, I think it's hard to tell the difference between like the church basement and the root cellar, and like it's a little difficult. So I'm kind of proud that we both recognized it.
Yeah.
The first time.
At Colony House, Kenny and Acosta interview the man and his partner who found Tilly's body. They are frustrated with being questioned and asked why no one has asked the one person in town who's murdered anyone yet. Acosta is surprised by this. She hasn't heard about Sarah. The woman says that they are fine answering questions, but everyone knows who did this. Kenny says they'll be talking with Sarah later, but they need to finish questioning people here first. The man interjects, "Didn't she murder your dad? Why the fuck are you defending her?" Acosta looks at Kenny, shocked. At the sheriff's station, Boyd and Ellis fight. Ellis wants to take off into the woods with Fatima and stay in a tent with a talisman while Boyd tells the townspeople the truth. Boyd argues that would not work. Ellis insists that they'll be safe with the talismans, but Boyd reminds him that he would not be safe from Fatima. This angers Ellis further, and he insists that Fatima would never hurt him, but Boyd reminds him that she just lost control and stabbed someone. Right then, Donna bursts in, saying that many people are ready to march on Sarah's house with torches, when she senses the vibe of the room and immediately knows something's off. She asks what's going on, and Boyd and Ellis exchange looks. Boyd says it wasn't Sarah, and Donna tries to reason with him, but he cuts her off, explaining that it was Fatima who killed Tilly.
She looks like she just got socked in the stomach.
Yeah. said the room falls silent as this news knocks the wind from Donna. Like,
Yeah.
she looked like she got hit in the face.
Yeah.
That's her boo. That's her little girl. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that was painful.
I'm glad that he told her though.
Yeah.
And I hope that she stops getting mad at him after this for like
Yeah.
not telling him stuff fast enough cuz that must have been really fucking hard.
Oh yeah. I can't imagine.
Yeah. But I mean, he told her immediately.
Yeah. We'll love to talk about this off camera, but I have some speculation about things that are going to happen next season that, yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
On the road outside Colony House, Acosta asks Kenny what the man that said about Sarah murdering his dad was true. Kenny insists that it's not that simple. Things are different now, and Boyd trusts her. Acosta begins to rant that she doesn't understand why anyone cares what Boyd thinks when Ethan runs up to them screaming for help. He tells them Julie's on the ground and shaking and they need to help her. They all run off, following Ethan back to the ruins. Excuse me. My voice is still recovering being sick last week.
Oh man.
Back in the dungeon, Julie is still on her knees, covering her ears, begging for the screaming to stop. It does suddenly, and she looks up, and she and Randall and Marielle are gone. Confused, she hears the voice of an old man calling behind her. You'll have to climb. She turns to see Martin chained to the wall, exactly as he was when Boyd found him at the beginning of season 2.
Didn't think we'd see him again.
Nope, me neither. I was like, I was losing my shit when this scene happened.
Yeah.
She hears Boyd's voice calling down from the bottom of the well. Martin tells him he'll have to wait, and then he looks at her and quietly says, Julie. She asks how he knows her name. He needs the rope, please, Martin continues. Julie steps forward towards him, nervously asking who's in the well. She picks up the rope and tosses it down, and we see Boyd trapped at the bottom of the well, exactly as he was at the beginning of season 2. Julie has traveled in time. We hear Martin's voice yell down to Boyd, you have to hurry, they'll be back soon. Martin thanks Julie, and she asks again who is down there. He tells her she needs to leave and that this isn't safe for her. He tells her to go, and Julie rushes forward to leave, but then turns back to ask him another question, and he's gone, chains and shackled. Terrified, Julie continues forward. She opens the door, and it leads her into the monster tunnels. She turns around, and the door she came through is gone. She is in the tunnels under the town. She pulls a lighter from her pocket and desperately tries to get it to work. Ahead of her, she hears the whispers of her mother's voice and Victor's from when the excuse me, Jesus, from when the Matthews house originally collapsed and they were in the tunnels. She calls out to her mom, but Tabitha can't hear her. She begins to hear the monsters screaming in the distance when Acosta, Kenny, and Ethan reach her and pull her body from the ruins. She immediately snaps back to the present time, and she pulls Ethan into a huge hug. Kenny and Acosta ask if she's okay.
Dude, this flips everything on
I
its head.
know. I know. It's what I really thought that Tabitha was going to be doing time travel and that she was going to be like coming back to Fromville in different years, and that was what the bottles on the tree were going to be, were like her different attempts.
That's what I've been assuming. Like I've been assuming that the numbers in the bottles are like
Mm-hmm.
the birth years of various Tabithas, and that there's
Ooh,
there's
yeah.
ones starting with 2, and those are future
Future, yeah.
Tabitha's. That's my theory anyway, that's what the numbers in the bottles mean, that they're all of the or the either the well, yeah, it would be I don't know if yeah, because there's not a year recent enough for it to be, like, the date that they arrived in Fromville, so it would have to be birth
Mhm.
years. It would have to be
Yeah.
birth years. Um, but, yeah, I mean, this flips everything on its head, and I have a theory about this scene, and I don't know, Jazzy, do you think that I should say it, or do you think it's a spoiler for or do you think it's a spoiler for future episodes?
I would save it just for safety.
Okay, gotcha. I have a
But Julie
crazy
threw
fucking
the
theory.
rope.
I know. I have a
Like,
crazy fucking theory about this scene, and I will talk about it in a couple of weeks.
of all the people who I thought were going to be the one to throw the rope, Julie was near the bottom of my list.
Yeah, seriously.
All right.
Julie just became a very, very important character.
Yeah. Majorly. Big
Mhm.
time. Uh, over at the sheriff's station, Donna stares out the window, listening to the end of Boyd's story. She tells Boyd he needs to bring Fatima back. Boyd says not yet, and Donna says nothing will help unless they have a plan to resurrect Tilly. She worries what will happen when people find out. Boyd says people will understand, just like they did with Sarah, but Donna insists that people did not understand Boyd's decision with Sarah. They just accepted it because he told them to. He says, well, he'll tell them again. And Donna says it won't work this time because the people don't trust him anymore, not like they did. Ellis says that he'll take the blame. He'll say that he did it. Donna begins to cry, saying, no, that won't work. It won't be enough. It won't change the fact that it happened in the first place. It won't change that there's either something evil inside of Fatima that's controlling her, or that this place has finally broken her mind. Either way, it's only a matter of time before it happens again. Boyd insists that he and Ellis can watch her and she won't be a threat to anyone else. But Donna says that they will all. Donna says she knows that they all just want this to be okay. But if he doesn't tell everyone, then she will. She begs him not to make her do that and storms out of the office. Boyd stares after Donna a moment and then turns to go into the office to grab some supplies. Uh, Tabitha, Sarah, and Victor head into the church basement. They creep down the stairs slowly as Victor describes what happened that day. Victor has a flashback to himself as a young boy, reaching the bottom of the stairs and seeing Christopher and Jasper sitting across from each other having a conversation. He tells Tabitha that Jasper was telling secrets, and then Christopher got angry, but then his memory changes. He sees Jasper slumped over in the chair, not moving. He suddenly realizes it was never Jasper talking, it was the boy in white. He was the one telling secrets to Christopher. He said the answers are at the end, the answers to the end are at the beginning, that it started with the children, what the others did to them. Tabitha asks what others, and he says the people that they loved. He says the children were born in the dark and they were murdered in the dark. Someone who loved them told them a story, and the story gave them hope. And when the children were laid on the stones, they poured their hope into the roots, and those roots became the symbol, and the symbol became the tree. The faraway tree, Sarah interjects. The boy in white told Christopher to save the children, he would have to go through the tree, and this made Christopher angry. Victor stops talking and begins to look very sad. Tabitha asks him what's happened, and he said Christopher refused to go through the tree, so he told his mother what the boy in white said. That's why she left us, Victor said.
Ugh.
He is hit with the realization that his own words are what he believes caused his mother to leave him and Eloise when they were children.
Stop breaking my heart, Victor.
I know. That scene was incredible.
Yeah,
He's Scott. Wow. Scott McCord really deserves an Emmy nomination this year.
he really does. He really
Mhm.
does. Like, I was telling
Yeah.
somebody the other day, like, I feel kind of bad for Harold Perrineau because like he delivered that performance that he fucking delivered in episode 2
Yeah,
was like nothing I've ever seen.
absolutely.
And then all season it's been Scott McCord.
Yeah.
So I feel kind of bad.
He hasn't like Scott McCord's had the emotional like cornerstone of the season.
Yeah.
Harold's spent more time being like furious at everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so never forget people, like Scott McCord has just been fucking amazing this season. Just
Yeah.
please never forget about Harold Perrineau's fucking mind-blowing performance in episode 2, okay?
Absolutely. At least they can both be nominated and they don't have
Yeah.
to compete against each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
hear me, Emmys.
Yes.
Nominate my boys.
Yes, please. Please. I mean, and they wouldn't be they wouldn't be competing anyway because like
Yeah, no. It'd be
Harold.
lead actor and supporting.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the Talisman Hut, Elgin holds up his snapshot to see that this is the location it was trying to show him. He calls out for Fatima, letting her know that it's him. He opens the door and she looks surprised to see him. Boyd and Ellis approach the Talisman Hut, and Boyd instructs Ellis to stay about 4 or 5 hours away from town. He insists they stay off the path to the settlement, so they remain undiscovered. He tells them he will leave supplies for them at the Talisman Hut twice a week, and if they need anything, to leave a note. Boyd says that if things get worse and if he needs him to promise, but then he trails off, unsure of what to say. Ellis said that he knows that his dad doesn't want him to do this, but he asked that if he had the chance to run off with Abby after what she did, would he have taken it? Boyd pats Ellis's shoulder, and they continue walking without him answering. They reach the hut, and the door is open, and Fatima is gone. They both kind of panic and start searching around, calling her name. Elgin and Fatima reach the root cellar. He tells her that Ellis is waiting for her inside. He tells her there's a secret room down there that no one knows about, and he helps her down the stairs. He brings her to the back in the creepy-ass room, and while he's showing her around, Fatima calls out to Ellis, but there's no answer. Fatima can tell something's off, and she turns to leave, saying she'll wait for him back at the shack, but Elgin stops her, saying she can't do that. She asks him to get out of her way, but he says that she has to be there. He tells her this is the only place the baby will be safe. She tells him there is no baby, but he insists that there is. He hesitates for a moment and then says, "It's just not yours."
Okay.
Fatima,
like okay, that was a creepy ass line. But okay, she was just saying last week that she was insisting that she was pregnant. And now she's saying there's no baby.
I mean, she knows there's not a human baby in there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much that must have freaked her the fuck out when he said that?
No.
It's just not yours. Because it is Cowboy Monster's baby. And Fatima is going to turn into a monster. She's turning into a monster.
Spot boy.
Yes. And because her baby is going to turn her into a monster. And she and Cowboy, she's going to kill Ellis. She and Cowboy Monster are going to be together. And the fat boy ship will live on.
Marry me, Cowboy Monster. We never have to be alone.
Fat Boy, my ships on this show are Fat Boy, El Mono, and Jaditha.
I keep forgetting about El Mono. Because Gul'jin is a classic, but El Mono really takes the cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me find my place. It's just not yours. Fatima looks terrified and tries to push past Elgin to get out of the cellar, but once again she is racked with pain that drops her to her knees. Elgin tells her the baby knows she has to stay. She pleads with Elgin to get out of her way, finally pushing him aside and managing to crawl up the stairs on her hands and knees. Elgin apologizes and then grabs her around her middle and drags her back down into the cellar as she screams for help. He insists this is for the best and forces her into the back room as she screams and pleads for help. End of episode.
Damn. LP Punk said,
Little
"Cowboy, take me
Elgin.
away."
Take my kidneys, take
Yeah.
my lungs.
Yeah. Hey, man, Elgin will do anything for his woman. Okay, he'll do anything for his
He'll
woman.
even do that.
Yes. um, but see, I'm laughing and stuff about Fat Boy and El Mono, but I'm telling you, people, Jaditha is happening. Jaditha is gonna happen.
It's coming. I feel it in my bones.
Because we know that Jade is moving back into that house next season.
We deserve Jaditha. That's the ship we deserve.
Yeah.
As a phantom.
Yeah, Jade is trying to quit drinking, and he can't do that if he's in the bar. He's moving back to the house. And I've been saying for a while now that, like, Jim, ever since Jim got that phone call from Thomas, and Thomas said, "But they aren't your kids anymore." As soon as he said that, I'm like, "Oh, Jim's dying next season." I don't see Tabitha ever, like, cheating on Jim.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think she would do that either.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna lose Jim next season. And because he doesn't have a story of his own that's connected to the town.
And he's not super popular with the fan base. I could see
Right.
him being on the chopping block.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have his own story that's connected to the town, and he's interfering with Jade and Tabitha's story, which is everything revolves around, in my opinion, everything revolves around 4 characters in this show: Jade, Tabitha, Ethan, and Victor.
Yeah.
And Jim is getting in the way of that. And he doesn't like Victor either. He's interfering with everything. He's in the way. He's got to go. So that's I think that's gonna happen next season, and Jaditha is gonna end up being a thing. It's just gonna happen.
I'm here for it.
By the way, so getting back to Acosta, you said that you think that her name might be Abby.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually thinking, what if her name is Christine? Like, because she was named after her father, Christopher.
Ooh.
They never found his body.
No, they didn't.
He might have gotten out of Frumville.
That's true. That's a good one.
Yeah, he might.
I'm just trying to think, what is her first name? What's the reason they're keeping it a secret? It has to be something that's going to affect people.
Has she come cross paths with Victor yet?
I don't think so.
Because if
she's Eloise.
God. Sorry. No, because if Victor might see her name tag on her uniform and be like, Costa, that was Christopher's last name.
Yeah, we don't know it, do we?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I think your theory is more likely right, because like if something like that happened, then if something like that happened, we wouldn't need Victor could just see her name tag and be like, Acosta, that was Christopher's last name, so her name doesn't have to be Christine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like, so I think Abby probably makes more sense because it's just another way to fuck with Boyd.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm guessing it's either Abby or Christine or Christina.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a strong theory.
Yeah. So who is your who's going in the box and who's getting your pancakes? I think we both are gonna be put the same person in the box this week.
Can you guess? Gee, I don't know. It's fucking Jim. It's always Jim. I hate Jim.
Yes.
No, yeah, Jim is hardcore in the box for me this week.
Yeah.
Worst Jim yet.
Yep.
The worst.
He fucking has to go. He has to go.
Yeah.
Ugh.
My pancakes, I like that, but my pancakes are going to Henry for being the first character on From to tell Jim to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Henry. A double stack of pancakes for you.
Yeah.
Yes. I also, Sarah and Tabitha can split a stack of pancakes for helping Victor, but my man pancakes are all about Henry because I've been telling Jim to shut the fuck up since the first time I saw him on screen.
Yeah, LP Punk is giving pancakes to Sarah for helping to jog Victor's memory.
Excellent choice.
I'm also putting Jim in the box. And I'm laughing about that. We were doing a recap. I think it was for like one of the first episodes. And I'm like, yeah, Jim's going in my box. Like, that did not come out right.
Yeah. Jim can stay away from my box.
Yes, please. But yeah, Jim's going in the box, and I'm gonna give the pancakes to Jade. Because I loved everything that he said to Jim.
He was great in this episode.
Yeah. And I loved that he called Jim out on, on taking away Tabitha's agency, and
yes,
like that was, that was a very nice feminist move on his part.
I'm sorry, who is he talking about? You're filling your wife's head with ideas? Like, are you a Kennedy? Like, what's wrong with you? Leave her. Oh, yeah. Sorry. That got me hot. Like that whole exchange.
The thing is, like, and the funny thing is he was calling him selfish and arrogant and egotistical and narcissistic. But the thing is, Jade was a total fucking douche when he first got to Fromville. Mm-hmm. But he settled down, and Jim,
he's shown growth.
He has. And Jim still has it out for him because of his own fucking insecurity.
100%.
Like, he does not, like, he has shot down everything that Jade has tried to do. Like, Jade tried to show him the journal with the symbol, and he slapped it away. He wouldn't even look at him. Like, he has just blown him off time and time again.
Yeah.
And Jim is mad that, like, Jade is trying to figure things out and do it without him. And because Jade called him teacup and insulted him, and, which wasn't very nice, but
teacup.
But it hurt his ego so badly.
Yeah.
That he's willing to throw everybody under the bus just to hate Jade for hurting his ego. Like, because he's so insecure. love Jade, but he's pretty high on the narcissism scale. I don't think he is, because I think he's very self-aware. Like,
I think he's gotten better.
yeah. I mean, like, every time he's been a dick, um he's like corrected himself, you know?
The
He's like,
worst of his narcissism this season when he went out to pick the fruit and he was like, I'm too good to be picking this fruit.
yeah.
I'm out of here. But besides that, he's been trying to be a lot more helpful lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I just and I like that every time, every time somebody has called him out on being a douche, he immediately like just tucks his tail between his legs. And he's just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My default settings douche. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk to people. And we haven't even had to see any of that this season.
Not at all.
Like, he was still a douche last season. Even though he was getting better, but he was still being a dick to Victor. But yeah, I mean, like, but yeah, Jade's been great this year. And
it's been a great season for him.
Yeah, it really has been. And I think Tian Chen had a huge effect on him for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's gonna get my pancakes this for this episode. You guys, this episode was so great.
Yeah.
It's kind of mind-blowing that they introduced time travel.
Yeah.
Like, I did not think that they were going to go down that route.
We are getting an onslaught of answers in the next few episodes, so I hope everyone complaining about it can zip your lips. Like, it's coming.
I know
we
that
found out who threw the rope.
I know. I know you said that this might be your favorite episode. In my opinion, it starting with 8, it just keeps getting better.
Yeah. Like, it's honestly 10 is probably my favorite. It's like the finale's freaking incredible, but episode 8 definitely has my favorite moment of the season. Yeah.
Episode 10 is honestly, I sat down and I thought about this, and I think it might actually be my second favorite TV episode of all time.
It's really good.
The first being the 6 Feet Under series finale. You didn't watch 6 Feet Under, did you? This series,
I've heard good things. Yeah.
It is a fucking masterpiece.
I've heard a lot about it.
Just that series finale, and series finales are rarely good.
Yeah.
That series finale was just an absolute fucking masterpiece. It was just beautiful. But I think that From's season 3 finale might be my second favorite episode of TV ever. Like, it's just that fucking good. It is so fucking good. And
2 more weeks, guys.
I know, 2 more weeks. I cannot handle people like talking about it being boring or we're not getting answers. We get, in episode 3, there's a major revelation right towards the end, and you think it's gonna you think that's gonna be it. That's a great way to end the episode. That's the last fucking 5 seconds, 3 major what the fuck moments happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna blow your guys' minds. Seriously. And with that said, I want to address something really quick. I'm getting really, really, really frustrated and upset. I have been attacked viciously on social media lately, to the point that that like people were reporting me to MGM. MGM knows better, fortunately.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, they've looked into it. They know I haven't done anything wrong. But I have, if you look at our episode, we did a collab with the movie blog, Anthony. Great guy. Check out his channel if you haven't. Subscribe. Really good. His channel is one of my favorites.
Love Anthony.
Yeah, he's great. We did a collab with him before the season started, and this was before we got screeners, and I mentioned one of my theories during that episode. And I mentioned it. My theory was that Tabitha is the reincarnation of Miranda. I first started thinking that in season 1 with the bracelet, but I didn't really voice it. I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind. But then in season 2, when Jade and Tabitha were in the bar and Jade showed Tabitha the picture of Victor, or the picture of Christopher with Victor in the background, and she said, "Yeah, that's Victor." And he said, "Oh, wow, you picked up on that a lot faster than I did." That rang a bell in my head. And I was like, she's got to be Miranda. And so at that point I started talking about it, and I think I mentioned it on the show before our collab with the movie blog, but I know that I talked about about that theory during that collab.
You've mentioned it a couple times. Yeah.
And a couple weeks ago we saw the episode with the scene where, you know, where Tabitha Tabitha saw the drawing of the totems, and we saw that dream that she had as a little girl. That to me was proof that she had been in Fromville for many lifetimes, because that little girl was in 1800s clothes, you know. And so I retweeted. MGM put out a tweet after the end of that episode, like commenting on that episode and the ending of that episode. It said something like, "That ending, what's going on?" And I retweeted it, tagging MGM, and said, "Tabitha is the reincarnation of Miranda, and we just found out that she's been there many lifetimes." And people have been trying to destroy our channel over it. They've been reporting our videos, saying that I I somehow knew something and that I was trying to pass off a spoiler as a theory. And it's been absolutely vicious. They've been trying to ruin us over it.
Yeah.
And it's really upsetting. And some of the people that are involved are the same people who have been full on stalking me for 2 years now. And it's really upsetting. And it's they've turned other content creators against me over this, just because they're upset that I came up with this theory. And it's really infuriating. So if you guys happen to see any of this, any of these accusations about, you know, Cyborg Queen is leaking spoilers. They've accused me of leaking spoilers via DM for The Walking Dead for years. I've never been aware of spoilers for The Walking Dead. I didn't keep up with spoiler sites or anything. And one of the people saying that actually was messaging me to try to get spoilers for the Book of Carol, and I refused. I wouldn't tell her. And I think that pissed her off, and that's why she's saying, but yeah, they've reported me to MGM and said that I've been leaking the episodes, and it's just really infuriating. Unfortunately, and there's a competing channel that is doing this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and it's the same competing channel who impersonated us, tried to pass themselves off as our channel. And, like, reported every single one of my videos, which got me shadow banned. We're getting our videos reported again. If you guys see any of this happening, please, please let us know. Send us an email, antlerqueenspodcast@gmail.com, or you can message us on social media as well. We are at on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. We are and TikTok. We are at Cyborg Queen Media, and on X we are Cyborg Queen TV. Please let us know if you're if you're seeing this stuff, because it's just, the harassment is over the top, and we can't deal with it anymore. It's just
Yeah.
too much. It's way too much.
I wanted to add in just that we've also been working really hard on reporting people who are posting spoilers.
Yeah.
And both in the Facebook groups and on Twitter and on Reddit, trying to get spoilers taken down, because this season is so good and people deserve to see it unspoiled. So it extra irritates me that we're being accused of something that we are actively doing the opposite of, and trying really hard to make sure that other people don't get spoiled. Like, eat a dick, guys.
Yeah, please.
Stop trying to hurt our show. We
Eat
just
all the
love it,
dicks.
and we want to talk about it, and we're still gonna do it even if you keep trying to take us down.
Yeah.
We're not gonna let you ruin this for us.
Nope. Nope, not at all. And and the people that are doing this, if you look at their pages, you'll find out that they like to hate people a lot.
A
They
lot.
make a full-time job out of it. We're not the only people that they do this to, but they've been obsessed with me personally for the past 2 years. Because I defended myself against something really terrible that they did, and they're upset that that's following them around, and it's bad. Yeah, Teacup and Hysteria. Very sorry about that, guys. We are behind with those two because it's been a really rough week or two with I've been just a fucking mess because of the harassment, and like, I've been a fucking mess this week because our videos are getting reported again, which is just scaring the shit out of me, because that, like, destroyed our channel before. I lost 500 subscribers, which was like a third of our followers. So it's been a bad couple of weeks, and we're very scared about about the election and everything going on. It's just, it hasn't been a good couple weeks for mental health for either of us.
There's a reason why we're live tonight.
Exactly. We normally would not be going live right after the episode, but we needed to get this out there, and we didn't want, like, From and The Walking Dead and Yellow Jackets are our flagship shows, and we will never let those lapse. So we had to kind of let ourselves get behind a little bit on Teacup and Hysteria.
We have some episodes taped, though, so they'll be coming out soon.
Yes, I'm actually going to upload those probably tomorrow, Monday No, they have to go up tomorrow, because Monday we are posting our Hannah Cherami interview.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So we're posting our Hannah Cherami interview on Monday. So Teacup and Hysteria should go up tomorrow, Sunday, or today, I guess, whatever. it might be later on in the evening. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the day goes, but they will get up tomorrow. If for some reason something happens and they can't because, my dog grew a second head and I had to run him to the vet,
Sorry.
like, I will let you guys know, but they should both be up tomorrow. So we took the week off from Hysteria just because we're behind a week. So we're gonna upload the next episode this week, and then this coming week we'll record our next episode of Hysteria. And then in a couple of weeks we're gonna start up our Severance coverage, so that'll be fun.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Also, with everything going on right now in the country, with people just being really scared and with all the harassment that we've been experiencing, I'm really, really itching to get my fan pack initiative going, which is basically going to be an effort to bring fans, content creators, fanfic writers, writers, journalists, actors, whoever wants to get involved, that's involved with fandoms. It's going to be an organized effort for fans to come together to do good. To try to combat toxicity in fandoms, and also to try to organize efforts to help others as well. Like, if there's a cast member from a show that we like that's really involved in a charity, like, we could do a foundation, or we can do a fundraiser for that charity. If there's somebody in a fandom that really needs help financially, like we did with our friend Tinu, who sadly passed away a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We can come together and try to help that person and run a GoFundMe, just stuff like that. If there's a disaster, we could do a fundraiser for, just basically mobilizing people to represent fandom in a really positive way and to combat toxicity. And we have ways to do that online as well. If there's a nasty thread, we take it over by posting silly GIFs. Like, do you watch Colbert?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you see the recent episode where he was showing the clips with the, okay. So Colbert the other day was like, he would go to, he would say he was about to show a clip of something, politically related, and it would go to a GIF of a puppy riding a duck. And doing stuff like that. If there's a thread that's just getting really nasty, that's related to fandom, doing stuff like that, taking over the thread and posting cute and ridiculous GIFs and stuff like that. So it's going to be just fans coming together for good. If you are interested in getting involved in this, we need to find some people who are really good at organizing and mobilizing people, because I don't know how to get this started. I have all the ideas in the world, but I just don't know how to, I'm not good when it comes to building communities. I just don't know how to do it. If this is something that you'd like to get involved with, please let me know. I'm really eager to get it started because I just want to create some amount of positive change, however I can. But I'll just send us an email if that's something you're interested in. And I will stop talking about that now. But so what so Jazzy, with only 2 episodes to go, let's pretend like we haven't seen past episode 8 at all.
Okay.
What are your theories for what's going to happen over the next 2 episodes?
Fatima gives birth to 25 crows. And they eat Elgin. Or they eat Ellis.
Oh, like the money gun. Like the
yeah.
monster money gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I predict that Donna successfully resurrects Tilly, and the town makes Sarah their queen.
I think that I do not think that Fatima is going to give birth to 25 crows. I think that she is going to give birth to Fat Boy Baby.
And in kindness of ravens.
Yes. she's gonna give birth to the Fat Boy love child. And it's gonna be really hard because she's gonna want to keep the baby because she loves Cowboy. They were meant to be together, but Elgin brought her down there because that's supposed to be his and Kimono Lady's baby that they wanted to adopt.
It's gonna look like the baby from Twilight, the little baby Ratatouille, or Resume, or whatever her name is.
Yeah. And eventually, like, there's going to be so much fighting, and they're not going to be able to. None of them are going to get along over this. So, Fatima and Ellis and Elgin and Kimono Lady and Cowboy Monster are all going to move into a house together and live as one big family.
That's a good polycule.
Yeah, I agree. Cowboy Monster's going to change his ways. He's gonna, he's gonna basically act like a human from now on. And that's and that's what's gonna happen. And and stepdaddy Jade. And stepdaddy Jade is happening.
That's just reality.
Yeah, exactly. I saw somebody else. It's taking off, man. Stepdaddy Jade is taking off. I saw somebody else use that term too. So you heard it here first.
Mm-hmm. We coined it.
Yes.
Well, Kelly coined it.
Yeah.
I'm just taking partial credit because I sit here and look good.
Yes. All right. So anything else that you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I gotta go.
Yeah, I know. You seem
I'm
like
falling apart.
Like take some Benadryl and just knock out. It's 2 a.m. here, so I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm not gonna fall asleep because I had my ghost energy drink. So I don't know. But all right, guys, this is a great episode. It's only gonna get better. And we'll see you all soon.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye, guys.